Okay, let's run.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote. This is the weekly show where we introduce you to some of the best creators from all over the world, and we find out more about them by taking your questions. I am your host, Ryan of And I Quote channel, and our guest on this episode is someone who was destined eventually to come back, because these days, Sydney, you gotta make a sequel. Please welcome indie comic writer extraordinaire, and he's joining us from an actual physical comic store, which I think is the first time ever in history we've had someone join us on one of these shows from an actual comic shop, which, by the way, hashtag support your LCS when you do have an opportunity to do so. Rich Davis is back. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, man? And yeah, coming to you live from Wonderland Comics in Cookeville, Tennessee. So this is either going to be a great idea or a terrible idea.
I'm hoping for pop. We try to be optimistic here, Rich, so don't worry about it. But it's great to see you, and it's great to see you who may be watching and listening to this right now. Do not forget to like and share this with a friend of yours. And if you are joining us live on the replay, thank you for doing that. If you have any questions for Rich Davis, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. I'm more than happy to take those as they come in respectively. With all that stuff out of the way, for those who may be a little unfamiliar with this nice young man, Rich Davis, tell us about yourself. Who are you?
So most people, if they know me at all, they're going to know me from the world of Dracula, which was my first comic book series. Began with Cult of Dracula, followed that up with Rise of Dracula, then rounded things out with Reign of Dracula, threw a Frankenstein story in the middle of that called Prometheus In Chains, which takes place in the same universe, but isn't necessarily directly related to the other three books. And I've got a new book coming out called Angel Hunter. It's a seinen manga inspired story told in the American comic book style about humanity's first strides after being expelled from Eden, and humans have to claw out an existence in a world dominated by the 13 fallen angels and an army of kaiju Nephilim.
Goodness gracious, kaiju! Sorry, when I'm thinking of kaiju, I'm just thinking of that guy from that one movie that nobody wants to talk about, the '98 iteration of Godzilla, looking into the camera and saying Godzilla, Godzilla, and I'm like, what the heck? What is this? But I get it. I get it because I've seen some kaiju movies, right? I've seen some Godzilla movies. I've seen Godzilla versus Godzilla versus Kong, which I thought was a bit of the newest one, not the ones from the original era, but the newest one from Warner Brothers and Legendary, right? That one was a bit of a letdown, I have to say. But I haven't seen Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, which was the sequel to that. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it or not, but
I have. It's pretty decent. I mean, I'm a Godzilla fan. I'm a kaiju fan, so things like that are going to be okay for me. But did you see Godzilla -1?
See, that's the thing. Everyone keeps telling me what a great film that is, but I've yet to sit down and keister down and watch that thing.
It's amazingly good.
I do need to see it.
It is. It's so really good that and the black and white version is actually it's a completely different movie.
Really?
And yeah, it really is. For some reason, black and white just changes. I don't know. It changes the whole vibe of the film, man. I mean, I watched them both, and I was just like, man, this is the best Godzilla movie I've ever watched. Twice,
not once,
yeah.
But twice, fans.
Exactly.
It's on my list for sure. There's a million things on my list. I mean, if you look behind me here, I got this TBR list, which is pathetic. It's a pretty bad to be read list. But,
Tilly.
Yeah, you guys over here. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I mean,
red list. Don't complain to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's a pretty long list you got back there in your neck of the woods. Don't get me wrong. But not that this is a competition by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, the Godzilla -1's on my list. The original Godzilla movies, I got to go back and watch the original because you got to learn your history. So I got to go back and watch those. I got to go back and watch the original King Kong. There's a lot that I haven't seen yet. I may have missed out on, yada, yada, yada. But I'm looking forward to diving into this thing because I do like, monsters beating the living heck out of each other. It's basically like, what do you call it? What was the thing we watched when we were kids? So it's kind of like Autobots versus Decepticons. It's like two different races just bashing the living heck out of each other.
Especially when you brought the Dinobots in.
Well, the Dinobots, yeah. Let's not forget about the Dinobots. So there was that too. I mean, just out of curiosity though, outside of the kaiju genre, have you had a chance to see Transformers One, the prequel that they made recently?
I loved it. It was so good. One of the
Hmm.
best Transformers. I mean, it brought back everything that I loved from Transformers the movie in the
Mhm.
1984 film, but
Mhm.
somehow it gave it to me in such a unique way. I just absolutely adored it.
Oh, all right. Just want to make sure. I was just curious if you'd seen it or not. But no, that's great. I mean, this all these different properties are starting to come back into prominence a little bit. They're getting rebooted. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Right.
But is there going to be a Transformers One sequel, or have they announced anything about that?
No, I'm sure there's going to be, with as much money as that movie made and has as well received as it was critically. I don't
Hmm.
see how they cannot make a transform. They'll call it maybe Transformers 2 or something.
Maybe. If they want to call it that. I don't know. It depends. There's so many different ones of these things. And just once again, we're going with a bit of a Hasbro rails here. Just out of curiosity, have you seen any of the fan shot photos from behind the scenes of the new He-Man Masters of the Universe movie they're coming out
I
with?
have not.
Yeah, there's a new He-Man movie coming out. Somewhat of a fresh known actor or fresh no unknown talent playing the new He-Man, which I think is smart. He looks good. He looks the part, and it's a mixture between him being in the real world and on Earth, and
Oh,
being in what do you call it? Being in the Castle of Grayskull. So they're kind of mixing it between a fish out of water story mixed with kind of the old school. I don't know. Not a lot of people like this movie, but I actually do like it, considering its unfortunate behind the scenes circumstances. I actually do like the canon films, Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. I don't mind it.
yeah.
A lot of people say that may be sacrilege, but I don't mind it. It's a fun, charming '80s, adventure movie. I don't know.
Yeah, in that description of kind of him splitting time between the
Mhm.
real world and Eternia, I mean, that kind
Eternia,
of
yeah.
I didn't think of that because, if I recall, it's been a long time since I watched that movie, but if I recall correctly, part of
Mhm.
it did take place in the real world. It was the
Mhm.
Skeletor coming to New York, wasn't it?
Skeletor was looking for something, but he sent his henchman to New York, and then He-Man follows suit.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay, that's
Skeletor is calling the shots from the other realm, but then his soldiers are on Earth doing his bidding, and it is a fish out of water kind of story. But I still enjoy it. I mean, I don't care if it's cheesy or not. I mean, a
dude,
lot of things in the '80s are cheesy, but it doesn't
I
matter
don't
because it works.
exactly. Give me big muscles and and lots of action and all
Yeah.
that fun 80s, everything that defined that decade.
True, and Franklin Gel, as we all know, ate it up a Skeletor. So I mean, it worked, didn't it? I don't know. He
Yeah.
gets people give him credit for that. But listen. I digress. We'll see what happens with it. Anything's possible with this new He-Man movie. It could be really good, or it could be falling flat on its face. We don't know yet.
But I'm still going to watch it either way.
Well, Rich and I are going to watch it either way because I'm curious to see what this thing is going to do as well. Since you're at a comic book shop, and I'm just curious, yesterday was a very important day. It's called Superman Day of
Yes,
2025. And any fond memories, any favorite iterations of the Man of Steel, or also known as the Big Blue Boy Scout, you want to share with the person watching this?
absolutely. I absolutely adore Superman. And I think Superman is exactly what we need today. He's a ray of hope. He's positivity, and I think that's James Gunn is going for that in a way that Scott Snyder just never got the character. And we don't need a dark Superman. We need Superman to give us something to aspire to. So, favorite Superman memories for me, the day that I first watched the cartoon All Star Superman. It is it defines Superman so perfectly well what he is. He is a creature of sacrifice. He is a true superhero. And so now every day in my store, if I have somebody come in and they're like, I just don't like Superman. First thing that pops in my head is, oh, you read Dark Knight Returns and the way that Frank Miller absolutely ruined Superman. So that's why you don't like Supes. So if that's the case, I put a copy of All Star Superman in their hands and I say, read this. If you read this book and you don't like Superman, then you don't like Superman, because this book is the absolute pinnacle of what Superman is. So I will always remember the first time I watched that animated film, and then the way I felt when I read that book. It was heartbreaking, but it was also very inspiring, and it showed me at a young age what a hero what it meant to be a hero.
Wow, goodness. And I think just a little minor corrections because you mentioned Scott. I think you meant to say Zack Snyder's DC.
Zack Snyder. I'm so sorry. Zack Snyder.
And then you said The Dark Knight Returns, which was written by Frank Miller. Yeah, but Frank Miller. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute. Because Superman was featured in that storyline. Now I remember. So
Yeah,
I get that.
Miller turned him into a Reaganite toady.
Yeah.
And
No, I
made
get
him everything that was wrong with the 80s.
Mhm.
You know, Miller just hates Superman for some reason. I don't get it.
Oh boy, I didn't know that Frank Miller had a hatred for my boy, the Man of
Yeah.
Steel. But you know, it's okay, Frank. To each their own. You gave us Sin City, you gave us Dark Knight Returns, which I still like. I like the storyline, a portion of it anyway. But no, I get it. And when it comes to Superman, I think another really good iteration of it, if anyone gets a chance to read this, I mean, some people may like it, some people may not, but it's been around for over 30 years. DC's Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come's great.
was Mark Waid and Alex Ross, right? So that's I like that iteration of Superman. That's what actually got me into comics in the first place, was reading Kingdom Come, Rich. So I have a soft spot for Kingdom Come. I actually had I sat down and talked with Mark Waid about his making of, or his putting together with Alex Ross of Kingdom Come. I said, listen, man, I got to be honest with you. With that graphic novel, when I went into my LCS and I said to them, I didn't know what, because when I went into my LCS, by the way, everyone should do this, and specifically if you're a first-time comic reader, tell them, hey, what is it you like? What kind of stories do you like? Well, I like this character. I like this character. I like the. And they pointed me in the direction of a new reader's rack when I was at this store. Specifically, I want to give a shout out to these people over there at Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland, because I live, not too far.
People.
Exactly, Third Eye Comics. I don't live too far from there. So I went in there and I said, yeah, I grew up on things like X-Men and Batman, a little bit of Superman here and there. Like, well, follow me. And then they showed me this new reader's rack, and one of the first things that pops up is the trade paperback of Kingdom Come and Flashpoint and X-Men House of M. If anybody remembers that, House of M. And you have all these other storylines, and I'm like, all right, I'll give this a shot. And when I read Kingdom Come, I was like, oh my dear God.
Mind blown, yeah.
I was like, dude, if this is what comic book storytelling can actually be, like, in the words of our good friends at Futurama, shut up and take my money. Just take all my money, brother. Take all my money. So I soaked it up with a spoon, went to a Comic-Con years and years later, told Mark Waid how much it meant to me. He signed it. He signed book 1, I think it was, of Kingdom Come. I got it graded. I got it slabbed. It's great. I think it turned into a 9.7, 9.8 when I got it graded there, Rich. So that works. But yeah, no, Super Loop means a lot. He's my favorite character of all time. There's so many different iterations that Rich and I could sit here and talk about, right? Whether it's the Fleischer cartoons, whether it's Christopher Reeve, whether it's Dean Cain back in the 90s, son, back in the 90s, Dean Cain, baby. You got guys like Tim Daly, guys like George Newbern, right? I mean, my favorite show, Rich, I don't know if you knew this or not, but my favorite show of all time is Smallville. So I got to give Tom Welling credit here.
Yeah.
So, Tom, what's up, man? I love you. I mean, and then I know some people, this is very divisive, right? Man of Steel was a very divisive film, but I liked Henry Cavill's iteration of the character. I liked some of the stuff that Zack Snyder was doing. Granted, I wish Superman would have gotten his own trilogy rather than being shoehorned into these other films. But other than that, those are some of my favorite things about the boy, the big blue Boy Scout, as some might say. One of these days, Rich, I don't know if you've had a chance to go to this location yet. I hope one of these days you and I can meet up, whether it's at another Comic-Con or maybe we can meet up at Superman Celebration in Metropolis, Illinois.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to.
I know. I want to go out there because the Superman Museum is out there. So
yeah, I've actually gone. I was doing a comic book signing in Paducah, Kentucky. And I got to go to that museum, and it is incredible. I've got pictures of me by the big giant Superman statue. It was amazing. I really enjoyed doing that. And if you ever are in that area, Metropolis, Illinois, if you guys go, it's so much fun, and it's not like a big, intimidating museum. It really is a Superman museum. So it's all the pop culture nerdy things that you know and love, and it's just really an enjoyable afternoon, man.
For sure. It is on my bucket list. So do not get me wrong. Superman Celebration, it's gonna happen. One of these days I'm gonna get my keister on up there, and it's definitely gonna happen, man. But just out of curiosity though, what is your speculation? What do you think is gonna happen with this new one in July from James Gunn? What do you think Superman's gonna do? You think he's gonna fly high, or do you think they're shoehorning too many characters into this thing?
I think he's gonna save superhero comics because it is what we need in our movies now. We've gone through 20 years of doom and gloom and nihilism and darkness and everything. The world's just screwed all the time. And now we've got Superman, and then we've got Fantastic Four. And I think it's a sea change in the way that superhero movies are being made. I think filmmakers are listening, and they've picked up on what audiences want. They want characters that are true to the source material. They want hope. They want something to look forward to. They don't want another movie about half of existence being wiped out, or everything is just dark and evil, and people want to dream, people want to fly. And I really think Superman's gonna fill that role. I think James Gunn is the perfect director to handle it, and from everything I've seen about it, he gets it. He really gets who Superman is.
There you go. Well, it's also nice that he has a wink and a nod in the teaser trailer with the electric guitar playing the John Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I was like, oh, okay. So, they got a new suit for him. They got a bit of a different look for him. But at the same time, they got the and I'm like, oh, you're realizing that John Williams is the GOAT right there, guys. That's nice work, isn't it?
Makes your heart just pound, man.
And then, and it's funny though, because the teaser for the teaser of the teaser, that 30-second teaser that we got on television, if you remember, all the people are just looking up because it says look up into the sky, and it has the voice, what is it called, like a chorus doing, and I'm like, oh man, they're going deep with this nostalgia, man. Like they're pulling on, even though they say never tug on Superman's cape, they are just
they're tugging, yeah.
They're tugging on that cape, brother, and you know what I'm talking about. So we'll see where it shakes out. I'm curious to see where it goes. As a Superman fan myself, I look forward to seeing where it goes. I'm going to see it. I will reserve judgment for after I've seen the film. My concern is there are a lot of characters being thrown into this, and I just don't want I don't want the big blue Boy Scout to be pushed to the corner. You know what I mean? Like I
think that'll happen. I mean,
because you're getting Green Lantern, you're getting Hawk Girl, you're getting Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho is in this, Lex Luthor is in it, because you got to have Lex Luthor. You can't have a Superman without Lex Luthor. That's like like having a Batman without a Joker. It just doesn't work. But and the cast looks great, but I'm just wondering, you got all these characters, man. They better not take up my homeboy's screen time, because that's going to scare me.
Yeah, think about Batman Returns, though. It's Batman Returns might be the best Batman movie, in my opinion. And, it threw a lot of characters at us in the beginning, and especially for that day and age to have that many characters. I think James Gunn can handle that. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Dude knows what he's doing. So, I think this is honestly, and I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, but this is one of those films where the fanboys just need to shut the hell up and enjoy it. Don't ruin it. Don't pick it apart before you've ever actually seen the movie. Go watch it. Be that 9-year-old kid sitting in the movie theater with a big tub of popcorn, staring up at that screen, amazed that a man can fly. Don't think too much about it. Just enjoy the movie, because we're very lucky to be in a time where we get superhero films. You and I, we lived through a time where, superhero films didn't exist. And if they did exist, they were god awful, truly god awful. So just shut up and enjoy the movie, man, and hope for something.
Fair enough. This is why we pay Rich the big bucks. Once again, this is Anti-Quote with the guest of honor, Rich Davis. Do not forget to like and share this. And if you're joining us live on the replay, thank you for doing that. If you have any questions for Rich, anything you want to share with us about some of your favorite comic book characters or some of your favorite iterations of characters, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. Be more than happy to hear from you as we go throughout the course of the show. With that being said, man, we've dived into a couple of different facets here. Goodness gracious,
rabbit holes, man.
But but then again, you're coming to us live from a comic book store, so naturally I got my mind on so many different properties, so that helps.
Yeah, it's a little schizophrenic in here, a little
bit. And I see some Justice League behind you on that wall there. I see Zatanna, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah. Zatanna's there, which, I mean, my first introduction to Zatanna was her appearance on Smallville. So
I got that in the animated series.
Yeah. I mean, I know she's made appearances before that, but it's like when she showed up on Smallville, it was Serinda Swan playing her, no less. I'm like, well, hello there. What have we got here?
Reaction the first time we saw Zatanna.
Yeah, I was like, dang, girl, what's going on? What's this whole magician's act you're pulling here? But that's just, anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Oh gosh, I can go all day on this. But for someone who may be unknown with the new stuff that you got coming out with, I mean, look at this badass cover here. Angel Hunter looks badass. Looks like it's an anime or a movie that's about to come out in theaters next week. So for someone who's unfamiliar with this property or these characters, what's the elevator pitch here? What are we going to get here?
So Angel Hunter is a seinen manga inspired epic dark fantasy told in the American comic book style. Takes place in a world that's dominated by the 13 fallen angels and their army of kaiju Nephilim, and humans have to claw out an existence in this cruel, brutal, unforgiving world filled with angels and other creatures that absolutely hate them.
Yeah, cue some supernatural soundtrack music here. Carry on my wayward son. Sorry.
Love
That's one of the songs that comes to mind. I don't know how you would pick the playlist for Angel Hunter, but Carry On My Wayward Son seems like an appropriate title.
Works.
I mean,
that, and then full of EDM mixes of ABBA and things like that, because I listen to just ridiculous music when I write.
Do you? What are some of the songs or musicians that you listen to while you're writing or piecing together stories?
So I was actually being very serious with an EDM version of ABBA's Dancing Queen. That's one that I go to regularly because it hypnotizes me. I listen a lot to Brothers of Metal. They're a Norse metal band. I listen to some house EDM versions of classical music. I really like EDM beats, how they have a way of hypnotizing me, which puts me into the right headspace to write my scripts. It's just something about the repetitive pulsing beats. It just helps me laser focus in on what I'm doing. So yeah, a lot of weird stuff like that. If I can find an EDM remix of any song, I'm going to try to listen to it and see what it does in helping me finish my script.
Well, just when we thought we've heard everything on these programs, folks. EDM of this, EDM of that, we'll take it. Yeah, it works. No, I get it. Whatever helps with the process, whatever helps put together your stories is great. I mean, for me personally, I'm in the process of writing an adventure story right now, so I'm listening to ancient Egyptian, music, that's kind of eerie, kind of mysterious. People going into a cave, maybe kind of like Tomb Raider type stuff. If you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. So I'm listening to like Raiders of the Lost Ark meets Tomb Raider music while I'm writing.
Get down with that,
because it puts me in the mindset of an adventurer going out and seeking out a piece of treasure somewhere, kind of like a globe-trotting adventure. Let me just put it to you that way.
Sure.
So I'm listening to that type of music whenever I think it's cool. It definitely it helps me focus, and it definitely helps me piece together the story as I'm writing it too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's important. Concentration is important. We find inspiration from anywhere and everywhere, as Rich and I and everyone and you who may be watching or listening to this right now, you can attest to this. So yeah, so I got that one, and then my next story after that is going to be a Western. So I'll probably listen to some Western music, maybe listen to some Tombstone.
There you go.
Because we just, unfortunately, speaking of DC Universe, we lost Batman Forever's Val Kilmer, unfortunately. R.I.P. to Val Kilmer. And just remember one thing: he's always going to be, I'm your Huckleberry. So just remember that, folks.
One for each of you.
That's right. And it's funny because years ago, and I watched Tombstone. I was like, the movie's okay. Da, da, da. But then years later, when I heard about the unfortunate passing of Val Kilmer recently, I should say, I went back and I watched it. And I got to be honest with you, Rich, I didn't realize how great of a film it was until I rediscovered it.
It's amazing. It's one of those guy films that it just defines a certain era of male existence. Not that women can't like Tombstone, but it is a film that resonates with men, especially men who were coming of age in the 90s when it was made. It's just a snapshot of their time, and it's a wonderful movie. It's acted top to bottom. Sam Elliott, Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer. Such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cast. It's every time I watch it, I find something else to appreciate about it.
For sure. Yeah. You had Powers Booth,
Oh yeah. Forgotten.
Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn is in it as Johnny Ringo. He looked like someone just walked over your grave,
Lee was in it.
Yep. And speaking of DC Universe alumni, Dana Delaney. Yeah, Dana Delaney's in it. You know, Lois Lane herself, aka the voice of Lois Lane, I should say.
Right.
And it's funny because she's the voice of Lois Lane in one iteration of DC Universe, and then in the other one with Batman, she was the Mask of the Phantasm. She was, you know, what was her name? Andrea Beaumont. Yeah, now there was a sweet number. How'd you let her get loose? Thanks for the handkerchief, Arthur. You know where you can stick it. By the way, we miss you too, Kevin Conroy. We miss you too. We miss you 1,000% more times over. But you and Dana Delaney's chemistry, man, even if it's an animated movie, Rich, it's just ridiculously awesome.
Whenever I read Batman, it's Kevin Conroy's voice I hear, and it's Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Any comic.
Every time.
Every time. Any comic. Yep. Any Batman related comic that I'm reading, whether it's White Knight, whether it's, you know, whether it's Dark Knight Return, whatever, every time I read a Batman comic or Justice League related comic book, right, Rich? It's always going to be Conroy. It's always going to be Conroy. 100%. And
if they don't sound like Kevin Conroy or who was it? The guy who did the voice of Bender, John DiMaggio. He did the Joker in a couple of animated films.
Yep.
And I was just mad at him because he wasn't Mark Hamill. And I'm like, that's not what the Joker sounds like. That's not the Joker. I don't, you know, you're Bender. Shut up. Give me Mark Hamill. Give me the Joker back.
I mean, did the best he could with what he was given. But you know, I'm trying to think. What was the actor's name? Michael Emerson voiced him brilliantly in the Dark Knight Returns animated movie.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty good because Michael Emerson is a creepy dude. So like he could play like whacked out, you know, characters because he did it with Lost. He did it with playing the Alfred to Jim Caviezel's Batman on Person of Interest, that TV series that was made by the Nolan brothers.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
It's crazy. Person of Interest is a surveillance, you know, futuristic, somewhat real life show. But at the same time, you can kind of say, well, Jonathan Nolan made it, so it's kind of like a Batman TV show because Jim Caviezel's playing Batman. And Michael Emerson's playing Alfred because he's at the controls or at the computer seeing, oh, Master Bruce, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere, But it didn't bother me because every time I watch Person of Interest, I'm like, dude, it's like I'm watching a new Batman live action series. This is great. You know, I mean, at least I thought so.
I enjoyed it. Person of Interest, really good show.
Damn good show. Underrated. Yeah, underrated too. It lasted 6 seasons, 103, I want to say, 113 episodes.
Sounds about right.
It's really, really good. If you haven't seen it, if you don't know what it is, check it out. Jim Caviezel, Michael Emerson, Taraji P. Henson is in it. Was it Paige Turco who played the iconic character April O'Neil in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Yep. And then there was Turtles 3, Turtles in Time that we tend to forget, which is for good reason.
Hey, it's not in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I lived for 15 years.
Really?
So, yeah.
Yep. Fun fact.
In fact, the club was shot there too.
Oh, right. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I almost forgot about that, Rich. Thank you for reminding me. And the other thing is, the first movie I ever saw in theaters personally was Ninja Turtles Part 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Nice.
That was my first. That was like the first, if not one of the very first movies I remember seeing in the theater when I was only 3 years of age.
Oh, wow.
At the time, if not going on 4. I think it was, because it came out in 91. So it was,
makes sense.
I was going on 4. I think I was going on 4, 3.5, 4 years old. Yeah, I remember seeing it too. It was fun. My family took me, my brothers and I, because I have 2 older brothers. It was fun. I love it. And it still holds a special place in this kid's heart because, you know, Go Ninja, Go Ninja Go from Vanilla Ice. I mean, who could forget about that? I can't forget about it, but
no, it's burned into all of our brains.
Forgive me for saying this, but it's tattooed in my brain. And the other thing is, did you know that the original TMNT movie turned 35 this year?
Really?
Well, it came out in 1990 AD. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
But the 90s were just like 5 years ago, right?
Exactly. Rich and I are looking at each other like, yeah, they were only like 2 minutes ago, right? Yeah. No, it turned 35. We did a watch along for that a couple weeks ago. You can find it here. You can find it here on the Movie Nerds playlist on our YouTube channel. You can go back and watch it. I actually had the pleasure of meeting the co-creator of the property, Kevin Eastman, at a convention, and I had him sign my Last Ronin hardcover.
Yeah.
And I said, Kevin, do me a favor. Sign this with whatever your favorite line is from the original movie, the original 1990 film. What is your favorite out of all the characters and all the things that have been said over the years? What is your favorite? And he wrote to Ryan, Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds. Kevin Eastman. And I was like, that's your favorite? Like, of all the lines, that's your favorite one? And he says, yeah, because my friends and I would use it all the time. And I was like, oh, okay, Kev, I got you, man. I got you. You want to
He's
use that
such
one? That's fine.
too, man. I've met him at several conventions, and he's wonderful. He's really a kind guy, wonderful to talk to, and yeah, he'll share some Turtles stories with you.
Oh man, he shared some interesting stories with me about when they were making the movie, and how he was happy with how the things that were treated on set were. And he kept talking about Jim Henson's Creature Shop and how they did a really good job with the suits, which is very important, very very important. So yeah, no, it was great. Kevin was great. We took a selfie together, got the autograph. It's posted on our Instagram page. So if Rich Davis and anyone who's watching this wants to go back and look at our time that we had at Awesome Con in Washington D.C. for 2025 with Kevin Eastman to hang out with, because we had a really good conversation with him, and some other great people that were there as well. So check it out. It's on Instagram. Rich, you can go back and see it. Kevin was very, very cool to me. Teenage Ninja Turtles, very, very cool to me. Just out of curiosity, though, what's your favorite line in the movie? The first movie, what's your favorite line?
Oh Lord, wow, you're really kicking me back.
Okay.
I don't know. The Pizza Dude's got 30 minutes.
30 seconds, actually.
See, darn it.
Yeah.
Wow,
you can name that one if you want, because what's his name? Donatello response to him is, "Hey, Mike, you ever think about what Splinter said tonight? I mean, about what it would be like, not having him. Time's up. $3 off." And then it goes back to something else that somebody said to me during the convention a couple weeks ago, Rich. They said, "Wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza."
I like that one. I like that a lot.
So yeah, there's a great couple of lines. Yeah, there you go. Well, if you're having a little bit of trouble remembering some of the lines, just let me know. We can quote them for you, word verbatim.
Definitely, yeah. I'm for some reason, I've never been a quote the lines type of guy. Like some of them I love, but I don't know. I don't always remember a lot of lines from movies for some reason.
No, that's okay. I mean, I'm just saying, if you need help finding what your favorite quote of Turtles is, just let me know, and I can maybe wrap it up.
Like somebody's going to ask me that on a panel at a con now, and I'm like, text you really quick. I need a line.
Yeah, let me Google this. Hold on, give me a second.
Quickly.
Let me Google the screenplay for a minute here for you, Rich. Give me a minute. Here we go. The screenplay can be found somewhere on the interwebs, I'm sure.
I'll be sitting on that panel, and it's like, time is of the essence here, dude. I got to make them think I know what I'm talking about. It's like I got to phone a friend.
Exactly, just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We got to fake it till we make it, guys.
Nope.
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, the movie turned 35. We did an anniversary watch along for it not too long ago. You can check it out on the Movie Nerds playlist. And just last night, we celebrated 40 years of the Goonies. So,
wow. Now that makes me feel super old, because I love Goonies, man.
Well, we know what they say, right? We're just young at heart.
That's right.
Yeah, the Goonies turned 40 this year. For those of you who are wondering, the next one we're going to be doing, it's a little bit belated because Superman Day was yesterday, but we're doing a Superman 2 45th anniversary watch along next Friday at 7 p.m. EST. So if you are a Superman fan or a Christopher Reeve fan of any way, shape, or form, you're going to want to tune into our 45th anniversary celebration / watch along of Superman 2.
Highly recommend. I love the original Christopher Reeve's Superman films, man. Those are beautiful. They just really are. Even when they get cheesy, they're beautiful.
Does that mean you like all 4 of them or just the first 2?
I love all 4 because, look, so I'm this guy. I find something to love out of every film, every song, every book, every play. I don't go into things wanting to be angry. I go into things wanting to love them. So even if they're awful movies, I'm going to find something that I like. It'll be like, I like his hair or something. I'm going to focus on the positive rather than the negative. So yeah, you know what I do? I do enjoy all 4 of all of the original Superman films, just, for different reasons. And some I love more than others.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you on that. Yeah. I tried watching Superman 3 not too long ago, and I couldn't even make it past the opening credits because of how cheesy and bad it was. I'm so sorry. But I do have a bit of a soft spot for Superman 4 because I watched that a lot as a kid. When I was a little boy, I watched it on VHS a lot as a kid. And then, John Cryer went on to play Lex Luthor in a different iteration of the character many, many years later, which I think is ironic. The Dude of Steel. Boy, you gotta get it. It's just...
Oh God, I love John Cryer. Such a wonderful actor.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he's in it, man. He's in it. But yeah, no. Yeah. Superman 4 has a few moments in there, but you can tell that it's It's not very good. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. But yeah, Superman 2 is my favorite of the original Christopher Reeve
Not a
films.
great film. It's not Schindler's List,
No.
but you can sit there with a bucket of popcorn and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give Rich that. So we got to give Rich credit where credit's due. I mean, he is broadcasting live from a comic book store after all. He's got some credibility. With all due respect, he does. But yeah, no, my favorite is Superman 2 because the best for me, one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he gets his powers back and he's flying. He's standing on top of that flagpole with the American flag on it, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
And he says to the enemies, "General, would you care to step outside?" And I'm like, "Ooh, that's badassery right there, wouldn't you say?"
For sure.
I mean, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a fan. But congratulations on Angel Hunter. That's great. So is the Kickstarter going down right now, or is it coming up soon?
It launches April 25th, so we're about 6 days away from it. And it's the first time that I've ever done a Kickstarter on my own. Normally, my books go straight into comic book stores. I've done a couple of Kickstarters before for the Cult of Dracula Deluxe Edition and Reign of Dracula, the actually deluxe edition for that too. But those have always been run by my publishers. So this time it's the first time I'm actually giving it a go all on my own. So I hope I didn't screw it all up.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think you did at all. I don't want to say anything negative here because I believe in you. Teamwork makes the dream work for sure. But no, that's great. Congratulations on that. We wish you the best with Angel Hunter moving forward. Everything you got going on. Do you have any upcoming convention or signing appearances you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so I'm doing just did C2E2. I do Heroes Con next, and then I'll do Dragon Con in September, New York Comic Con in October, and then Big Apple Comic Con in December. Those are the ones I know I'm doing right now. I think there's one or two others scattered. I try to do one convention a month. The first couple of years I did this, I felt like I was a WWE wrestler. I was on the road so much. So I cut back from doing that, and I try to only do one a month. And then sometimes I'll pick up a little small show that's, a couple of hours from Knoxville. But those are the big ones: Heroes Con, Dragon Con, New York Comic Con, and Big Apple. I don't think I'm doing San Diego this year because I don't want to make the trip all the way across the country right now. But I've done it for the past 3 years. I'm kind of burned out on it. I want to do something different.
Yeah. Understandably so. We all need a break once in a while, ladies and gentlemen. So keep that in mind. Take care of yourself before you can take care of others. For sure. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much to Rich Davis for being our guest on this episode of And I Quote. Rich, it was great to see you again. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Joining us live from an LCS, a comic shop. That is a great way to kick off a weekend, because what do you do when you mix together Superman Day, WrestleMania weekend, that's going on right now. WrestleMania, yeah. And you got, and you also got Star Wars celebrations going on right now overseas in Japan. So what do you get when you mix all that together? You get great shows like this on And Quote channel, which if I were you, I would like and subscribe right now. Rich, if someone wants to know more about you, where can they follow you on social media, keep up to date with all this great stuff you got going on?
Yeah, just at Rich Davis Comics on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow my World of Dracula at World of Dracula, and then Angel Hunter at Angel-Hunter. And then if you want to follow my store, which is Wonderland Comics in Cookeville, Tennessee, it's just at Wonderland Comics TN. Make sure you get the TN in there. Otherwise, you're going to get the store up in Connecticut, and we don't like those guys. Actually, no, they're really awesome people. But if you're looking for my store, it's got TN at the end.
There you go. Well, thank you, good sir, for being with us. It was great to see you again. I'm going to talk to you here again momentarily, so stick around. In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger from that movie, I think it was Predator, when he threw that thing into that other dude, if you know what I'm saying. My name is Ryan of And I Quote Channel. Follow us across all forms of social media, simply at And I Quote Channel. That's where you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the whole enchilada. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Once we do, we'll throw a great big live stream celebration that will include special giveaways that you, the person who is watching or listening to this right now, are going to be eligible to win. We also have merch. We have a Redbubble store where it has shirts, hoodies. We have stickers you can add to your water bottles. We have coffee mugs, stationery, throw pillows, bed sheets, that kind of stuff. It's available right now. Link is down below in my link tree. It's also in our social media bio, so make sure you check that out. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Do not forget to Like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go up or they go live. And remember, life is better when supporting indie creators from all over the world, and support those who support you. So take a look.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Who are you?
A friend.
There's one thing I do know, son, and that is you are here for a reason.
Here you go, friend.
Thanks. Cool costume.
Thanks. My mom made it for me. I just wish you could all see the Earth the way that I see it. Because when you really look at it, it's just one world.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Dreams lift us up and transform us into something better. And on my soul, I'll never stop fighting.
I believe in second chances. I believe in redemption. But mostly, I believe in my friends.
I'm proud of you, Jonathan. You put the world above yourself. That's what a hero does.
Any more at home like you?
Not really, no.
No one ever dreams about the problems, but every life has them. Even the extraordinary ones.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. And in time, they will join you in the sun.
He may have come from another world, but he will always belong to ours.
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.